Are you serious? I'm having my coffee this morning, but I tell you one thing, things are shaking and quaking and quaking and shaking in Mount Hood, Oregon. They've had 62 earthquakes in the last 24 hours, okay? 62 small tremors, seismic activity in the last 24 hours. And all those swarms of earthquakes are common at Mount Hood. Not like this. It's been a few years since they've seen anything like this. There's an average of 3 up to 0.3 earthquakes within a 10-kilometer radius of the volcano have been recorded each week. But officials say the tremors have been occurring now along this fault line 3 miles deep on the south of the volcano. And although the cause of the swarm is still unknown, a series of earthquakes tends to happen on volcanoes as magma and gases navigate beneath the surface. Now, the same thing happened just from March the 14th of this year began earthquake tremors, 130 earthquakes directly under Mount St. Helens. And we already know that Mount Rainier has been shaken. Now Mount Hood, Oregon, swarms of quakes. And don't forget the super volcano over there in Yellowstone and the quakes that's been there. And the river that's boiling in the Yellowstone National Park. And last summer, a road melted and 2 dogs were scalded. I mean, so the magma's moving, folks. The magma's moving. The lava is moving. And Mount Hood is potentially an active volcano, the highest peak, of course, in the state of Oregon, about 75 kilometers southeast of Portland, Oregon. Pastor Scott, be careful, be careful. Also in the Cascadia volcanic arc of northern Oregon. So in the past 1,500 years, Mount Hood has had 2 major eruptions that produced lava domes and magma flowing, mud flows, minor ash fallout, okay? The last time, 1780. Notice what's been going on here. New Madrid fault line, last major quake, 1812. That fault line that's just off the coast of Oregon and Washington hasn't given since 1700. It was a major quake. San Andreas fault line hasn't had a major quake since 1859. Mount Hood is overdue. Everything is shaking. Magma is baking. Underneath the devil's back is aching, as we're certainly living in an apocalyptic era, which is what I'm telling you. We're in the apocalyptic era, which is biblically what the Bible said would happen. 2,000 years ago, Jesus was asked the question, what are the signs of thy coming, the end of the world? He began to go right down the list. False Christ, false prophets shall rise. They shall deceive many. You'll hear of wars and rumors of wars, and see that you be not troubled. For all these things are going to come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdoms against kingdoms. And there will be famines and pestilences, earthquakes in divers places, and all of these are just the beginning of the sorrows. And then he goes on to talk about more and more events in Matthew 24, Mark 13, Luke 21. Daniel saw many dreams of the end times. Joel prophesied of volcanic eruptions. He said there'll be a blood and fire and vapor of smoke. The sun will be darkened and the moon will turn to blood. Malachi, look, all of the ancient prophets. And then you can go into Revelation. So you're living in this apocalyptic era. Are you saved is the question. Don't miss today's show. 12 noon Eastern. I'll bring Joe and Doug Hagman will be our guests. So don't be late. They're coming on. Show begins at 12 o'clock. They're going to be on at 12:15 for 1 hour. Don't miss it. I'll see you there. My website, www.paulbegleyprophecy.com.